So, the Glock 18c, a fully automatic pistol for the gunslinger, and considering they're fully automatic, they're already quite unique, since gunslinger does not actually have any fully automatic weapons in his arsenal. But let's go over the Glocks themselves. So, the Glock 18c are, of course, pistols you can buy either a single or dual. They weight 4 kg each, so when you are dual wielding them, they weight 8 kg, a single one weighs 4. Which is quite heavy because if you compare them to other tier 4 pistols, which weighs 3 kg each for each pistol. So they're quite heavy for being tier 4 pistols. They also cost 1,500 Dosh, just like any other tier 4, or 750 Dosh if you buy a single one. And what's kind of good about these pistols that they have quite a good amount of, total ammo, which is pretty nice, but they kind of need that since they don't deal that much damage per shot. So, are the Glock 18Cs any good? Well, they're okay in my opinion. Not really amazing or anything, but they can hold their own weights. But compared to other pistols, they are kind of underperforming. But enough talking, let's show some big set takedowns. So, when it comes to a flesh pound, of course, you're a gunslinger, kind of do a very generic flesh pound takedown. You just, head trace it as much as you can, and yeah, that's how you kill fleshbomb with any gunslinger or precision weapon in general. And Scrakes as well, since you have a skullcracker with gunslinger, you can kind of just fire at the Scrake and head track as well as you can. And yeah, you have a pretty easy takedown against Scrakes as well in terms of a raw takedown. Yeah, also one thing you might have noticed is that the Glocks have quite a lot of recoil. Yeah, even if you're hip firing, they have a good amount of recoil. It feels kind of like using an FM fall with sharp, if I'm going to compare it to any other weapon. Yeah, so recoil, that feels kind of like the FM fall as a sharp recoil. So quite a good amount of recoil. So yeah, and also something to note when it comes to Scrakes, you could do a takedown, which includes a bash, which is only really useful if you get cornered by a Scrake. So what you do is basically bash, and as soon as the bash connects, you just, hold down mouse 1 and just dump on his face. Although this isn't really unique to the Glock, since the other pistols can do that, and the AFs and the Magnum 500s can do that even better, since they have a lot more stumble power. So that's not something that is unique, but, in general, something that is kind of nice to keep in mind. But it's very, very tight, so as soon as the bash hit, you just want to hold down mouse 1, and it's very tight, and a lot of times, if you're slightly slow, like just barely, like too slow, you're going to get hit, which kind of sucks. But yeah. And also something that is kind of interesting, you think since, these are, fully automatic pistols, which means if you double, your gun, you double your fire rate. Well, with the Glocks, that is not the case, because a single Glock it shoots 800 rounds per minute, while the dual ones shoots 1,200 rounds per minute. Only 50% increase for dual wielding, which is kind of weird, but I guess that was a balanced choice. Yeah. And I guess I can also talk about when you upgrade them. If you upgrade the Glocks, if you're dual wielding them, they are extremely heavy at that point. 10 weight, that's a lot. Basically, the only other weapon you could really bring that is good is either the Deagles or the Centerfire, which kind of sucks. But yeah, overall, the upgrade isn't really that good. Like, it gives some okay damage. That was a bad takedown. Let's do a new one. It's just the bash variation. Yeah. They do some good damage, but it's not enough damage, in my opinion, to justify the weight. So yeah, in my honest opinion, if you're going to dual wield them, don't bother upgrading them. However, if you're going to use a single one, upgrading it is actually quite good. Yeah, so if you go over the tier 4 single pistol, what is kind of nice about the single one, if you're using a tier 4, you can actually perfect clip a flesh pound. You can actually kill flesh pound in 33 shots. It doesn't matter if you have rack 'em up stacked or not. It's always 33 shots. If I can actually not get smacked as I'm doing it. Let's do it again. Okay, I will swamble it off. Yeah, you can perfect clip it, but it's pretty difficult. So if you have a single tier 4 Glock in your hand and want to take down a flesh spawn, shoot like 2-3 shots before you start the takedown and then reload. That way you can make it a little bit easier for you, but overall, I would not really recommend taking down a flesh spawn unless you absolutely have to with this pistol. If you're using a single one at tier 4. There we go, the perfect 3 shots. And single against Griggs, in my opinion, it's very annoying to use. The recoil is still pretty high on it, and yeah, against Griggs I don't really recommend using it too much unless you really learn the recoil. And when it comes to tier 5, you know, you have a little bit more damage, which makes it so you don't need to perfect clip a flesh spawn anymore, which is kind of nice. And then, of course, you know, with Griggs, you still kind of have the problem that you don't really deal too much damage, and recoil is still pretty high, so compared to other pistols, it's not really that great. Yeah, but I guess if you learn the recoil pattern really well, I guess you can do some really good work with them. Yeah, but overall, the Glock 18c, pretty heavy, not really performing too well. Other pistols are kind of overtaking it in terms of performance. Even tier 3 deagles are actually better in terms of a DPS option, which kind of sucks. You know, that's compared to tier 4 dual Glocks. At tier 5, of course, they're going to be tier 3 deagles, but at that point, tier 4 deagles are again beating the tier 5 weapons, so yeah, overall, the Glock 18c, not too good. Single one can be kind of nice as a sidearm, and of course, it's a lot of fun to use if you line them up to get that 10 extra penetration, since these pistols doesn't actually have any penetration at all. Yeah, kind of fun, gimmicky weapons to use with line them up, but other than that, kind of underperforming, overall very heavy, and yeah, other than having a large ammo pool, they aren't really that great. The only good thing about them are basically being able to trash clean really well, but every other pistol in the game can kind of do that anyway, so yeah. Yeah, but that was the dual Glock 18c. So yeah.